We are on the record as the people of the state of Michigan versus Jordan Emmanuel Davison, who is defendant number 1, and Keontae Jackson, who is defendant number 2, case number 2261042. Defendants 1 and 2 are both charged with count 1 and 2, assault with intent to murder. Defendants 1 and 2 are both charged with counts 3 and 4, assault with intent to do great bodily harm less than murder or by strangulation. Both defendants are charged with count 5 and 6, assault with a dangerous weapon, felonious assault. Defendant 1 is charged with counts 7 and 8, weapons, felony firearm. Defendant 2 is charged with counts 9 and 10, weapons, felony firearm. Defendant 1 is charged with counts 11 and 12, weapons, felony firearm. Defendant 2 is charged with counts 13 and 14, weapons, felony firearm. Defendant 1 is charged with counts 15 and 16, weapons, felony firearm, and defendant 2 is charged with count 17, weapons, felony firearm. Today is the date set for a preliminary examination. Appearances.
Margaret discussing on behalf of the people, Your Honor. Good afternoon.
Afternoon, Your Honor. Andrew Mogg, CP number 69568 on behalf of Mr. Davis.
And good afternoon, Your Honor. Neighborhood Defender Service of Detroit by Natalie Phelps, P83355, here on behalf of Mr. Keontae Jackson, also present in the courtroom. Mr. Jackson, can you please state your name for the record?
Keontae Jackson.
And Mr. Davidson, can you state your full name for the record?
Jordan Davison.
Good afternoon to everyone. Okay, are all parties ready to proceed?
Your Honor, we are not completely ready to proceed. We have the majority of our witnesses, but not two of our female witnesses. I am asking that this matter be called in part so that we can have all the people witnesses.
When you say not all, how many witnesses total are you anticipating for? And are any of them civilians?
Yes, or at least four of them are civilians.
Are the civilians here?
Yes.
Anything from the bench that regarding that request?
Your Honor, I guess I would object for the record. I mean, today we've had this date set for 3 weeks. I'm not sure what she would need the officers for the purpose of today's hearing. So I guess maybe it's proof as one for proof as to what she is. But then we also have some other preliminary issues like that.
Your Honor, and I share on the objection that Attorney Phelps has raised, even magnify the point my client is incarcerated. I concur with the objection of Attorney Phelps, and just to make the point even stronger, my client is incarcerated, unlike hers.
Your Honor, I would stress that those two officers, my information, those two officers were called to a home invasion. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And Detective Lehman, can you put your name appearance on the record?
Detective Edward Lehman.
And can you state why the officers are here?
I just talked to Officer Gursky. He had a late police run, home invasion. They have a bunch of property put on evidence. You're busy doing that.
Okay,
But I would just reserve the opportunity to call them part. My hope that I see not.
okay. Because the civilians are here, I do want to hold this exam. If you can hold because of complaining witnesses not willing to appear, that would be a different situation. Hopefully you do not have to call the officers. In the event that you do, as Attorney
Mox.
Moxie, I don't know why. Thanks. Attorney Moxie said his client is in custody. So, if you need to hold, or call the officers, can they appear tomorrow if the attorneys are available this afternoon?
I'm sure we can make that arrangement.
And what about to both, defense attorneys?
I can be available for.
It's gonna be pretty difficult, Judge, I prefer Thursday, the 9th. Well, I can try to make it work if we do it late afternoon.
At 1 o'clock.
So does Thursday work for everybody? In the event that we need to call, or we need to call officers?
Yes, Thursday works.
Thursday at 2.
If I could just have a moment. I can make it work.
Yes, yeah, Thursday at 2, that'd be great.
All right, and Attorney Phelps, you said you have some other preliminary, or you have preliminary matters. to discuss?
Yes, Judge, first, of course, we would ask for mutual order of sequestration for the case. And then secondly, Your Honor, I do believe I'm missing some discovery that would be crucial for me to review for today's hearing. There are 2 civilian witnesses who were, I believe, interviewed at a hospital. There's not even any written police report from the officer who spoke with these people at the hospital, and then a detective interviewed them later. But it's my understanding there should be body cam footage, at least from when the detectives went and spoke to them initially at the hospital. There's also some additional body cam missing from another part of the investigation from a few of the officers that again, I would need to review before today's hearing.
I would need some specifics. I mean, I know.
Yeah, I can give you this.
I would need specifics, especially like
Right, so,
witnesses, the names of witnesses that you're looking for.
okay, so there are 3 officers whose body cam, at least 3 officers, right? So again, I believe the report that I have is incomplete. There were 2 different locations that officers were sent to for the initial investigation of this case. The one location where the complaining witnesses were found, and then another location where a vehicle was found where the that was allegedly occupied by the defendants. So that location was Tyerman and Mansfield.
Which one is Tyerman and Mansfield?
That's the one I'm looking for. The second location was the defendants. And so that location, there should have been at least been an officer Shaw and Voss that went to that location. And I've not received any body cam of their investigation of that part, and that would have had interviews with anybody related to that vehicle. And then there was also an officer Dawson who went to the hospital and spoke with the female witnesses, the civilian witnesses, who are Chanel Lewis and India Jordan. It's my understanding that a detective did speak to them again after that. However, I don't have any recordings of the investigation, that part of the investigation at all. I don't have anything. And so there should be body cam footage of at least the investigation that was done. And I'm imagining some statements from those female witnesses before the detective spoke with them. And then if there's any recordings of the detective's conversations with those witnesses as well, I do not have those. But I do have witness videos from the detective talking to everybody else. So I don't know why I would have videos from those 2 witnesses, but
And before you respond, you said from the Tyerman and Mansfield location, Officer Voss and who?
Shaw.
Shaw?
Yeah.
Okay. And Mr. Sessions?
So this is the first I'm hearing of this, Judge. It's the date of exam, and today's the first time I'm hearing of these items that defense counsel claims that she needs for the preliminary exam. I would state that for the same reason that was given for not wanting to agree to a Heldon part, there's so much time has transpired, we know the date, would be the same reason for why at the date of the exam, am I hearing of these items that are, missing according to the defense. I do have both officers, Shaw and Boss, here to testify today. I can inquire into that body camera footage at the Tireman and Mansfield location. I would certainly inquire as to Officer Dawson, if all these items that are requested, I could certainly inquire into. But I don't see how this would delay, how this should delay today's exam, especially given that the request is being made today and not, let's say, just a couple weeks ago, and this would have given us time to review it for all of our benefits prior to the preliminary exam.
And Your Honor, if I could just briefly reply to that. When we held the PCC on this case, I did request all the digital discovery. I sent, formal requests for those things. I did follow up with the prosecutor. At that PCC, I did also indicate on the record that I would be out of the country for the time between when the PCC was held and today's date. And so that, of course, I would normally absolutely follow up with the prosecutor ahead of time, but unfortunately I'm out of the country in this case. And again, it's the prosecutor's responsibility to make sure that all the discovery is turned over. And as far as whether or not this would hold up today's hearing, if these recordings exist, then there are statements of witnesses the prosecution is calling for today, which I would certainly have a responsibility to review for any impeachment, possible impeachment material for today's purposes. And certainly, I think that would be, possible in effective assistance of counsel to look at this, and I have to review them before they get to testify in fact.
And I will say that the people did in fact send the digital discovery that was in our domain, that we knew of, that we knew existed. So, any specifics, for us to look into further, that's just being brought to me today. I am sympathetic to the fact that you're out of the country. Is it that fact, but I would still say that there is, then this request, still an adjournment request should have been made prior to today's date.
Which is not possible, Your Honor. And again, I'm not asking for a dismissal today. I'm asking for the discovery to be turned over or some verification whether or not it exists.
Okay, first, before I respond, Attorney Moxley, do you have any discovery issues?
I don't believe that I either have the information that Attorney Phelps has mentioned. And while I am concerned for delay for my client's sake because he's incarcerated, but I would note that he also has another pending capital case that is in circuit court right now. So this isn't the only matter that's holding him in custody. If this only was, then I obviously would want to proceed with the utmost haste. That's simply not the case.
So, thanks, Anderson. I guess the question is, do you know whether any of this exists?
I don't know, Judge. I have to confer with the OIC. These specific, I have been asked about photos, evidence tech photos off the record. I inquired about that. I let myself know that answer to go to so I'm just getting more information.
Okay, and it's a little time-wise, the requested today is inconvenient, but also if it exists, it should have been sent already. So, if you refer to OIC and see whether or not it exists, we'll go.
Thank you.
And we're off the record. Ms. Fitzpatrick on Zoom?
Hello,
Yes. Ms.
can you hear me?
Fitzpatrick? Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
You're in the wrong courtroom.
Oh,
It's okay.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you what to do to get to the right place, okay?
okay.
Can you turn your camera on so that you can see the screen?
Okay. Yes, I could see there's a note.
Yes, so that's where you should be, courtroom 332 with Judge Larry Williams.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you.
You want to take the information down?
Yeah, let me get my pen. 332, Judge Larry Williams. Larry. 332-360-332-0000. Okay, I got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, wow. You too. Bye.
Judge, or, no,
Okay, back on the record.
Judge, I did speak to Detective Namath, who is here, and, speak to the court wishes, but he did indicate he's not aware, he has to look into it. So at this time, I don't have a conclusive answer for it, and he said it's a possibility, but he has to look into that body camera, Mr. Lawson, and to see about, you said for that body camera, but it's Chairman and Lawson?
Chairman
Mansfield?
Yes.
Okay,
And the Dawson as the officer.
yes. I wrote.
Okay, so let me summarize what it is to make sure. Attorney Phelps, you stated there are 2 complaining witnesses who were interviewed at the hospital and no written report or statements from those that may not exist.
No,
but
there are written statements.
from the hospital visit.
Right.
Okay, so what discovery are you referring to from the 2 complaining witnesses?
So they're not the complaining witnesses, they're civilian witnesses.
Oh, civilian
but,
witnesses.
They're reported things that was on the file. Right, so when they have the written statements are from the detective writing them out, right? And whatever conversations that they had between them, but there was an officer who spoke with those 2 civilian witnesses before the detective spoke with them. And then I don't have a written report. So there's a written report as well, but I'm not sure, just the way that the summary was given to me, there might not be, supplements from most officers, but certainly if there's, the body cam, right, so I would be looking for that, and then the body cam from when Shaw and Boss went to the Targum and Mansfield location. And there's actually more, but it wasn't necessary for today's date, I don't know if you want me to put everything on it.
I mean, if it's going to be adjourned, I would want Ms. Phelps to at least give it to me in writing so that I know specifically what's being
Sure.
requested. I can say that if any statements that Detective Lehman took, and that's the written statement that we have, that both defense counsel have as to the female civilian witnesses, he would not have had body cam on. As to Officer Dawson, that's something that's gonna have to be looked into by Dawson. And that would be the statement that, defense is stating that would have been made prior to those civilians speaking with the OIC.
Okay, so Attorney Phelps, can you provide on the record everything that you're looking for and then also provide that in writing, or I will have it in writing? So there won't be piecemeal, so it won't come back Thursday and the court will come back Thursday. That you need something else after reviewing,
Sure,
so we can just hold it on Thursday.
absolutely.
Okay.
You want me to say it all orally now, and then do you want me, I could just send a discovery request, like a formal one to the court and to Ms. Narcessian, right when we're done here, that has everything right now.
That would be great.
Okay. Okay. So, so there were evidence tech photos that Ms. Narcessian discussed that they do have that were not sent to us.
So you want evidence tech photos?
Yes.
I do want the record to reflect that I don't actually have them.
Okay.
So those are items that I just don't forget myself.
Okay, and the written report indicates that they exist, and it sounds like her officer that they do exist too, but she's not seen them herself. And then there is a body worn camera, if it exists, from officers Moore and Allen from, they recovered a firearm supposedly in the backyard. I'll give you the address of the house, it's the name of the patient of this incident. Of 7286 Penrod. And then, there may be written reports, for body worn camera from Officer Shaw and Voss in relation to the Tyerman and Mansfield location. And then, body worn camera and any written reports related to Officer Dawson, and I don't know if he had a partner or something too, from when they went to the hospital and spoke with the civilian witnesses, the females at the hospital. And then, there was also a video of the incident referred to in some of the discovery. I don't know if that exists, but if that exists, I certainly want that too. I mean, a video of the incident was referred to. I kind of got the impression that it didn't exist actually, but if that does exist, I certainly will.
But I have no impression that it does.
I think it might have been a ruse for the other, but if it does exist, certainly we want that as well. So, and I'll send a written formal request about all these.
And just for the record, AP intersection, I'm not intimating or suggesting that you have evidence that are not turning out.
Oh, I didn't think you were.
I just wanted to make sure on the record, to be clear.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
So with that, I think we're all in agreement that Thursday we will be holding the exam in full.
I'm concerned that we wouldn't be able to get all these items by Thursday, Judge. Today is.
Okay,
I am a little concerned that, and to be able to properly go through the items.
okay. So how much time do you think?
And
Sure.
so the technically state that he can probably get all of this to me by Thursday, then still need to read all of the time, take a look at it. Could we adjourn to next Monday?
I can do next Monday morning, but now.
I'll be on a trial.
Our morning are. Well,
Yeah.
through the 27th.
Otherwise, I would say I wouldn't be able to do it.
And you guys find a date.
I'm pretty close to one after.
You
Well,
got
it's not
anything
much.
on Wednesday, the 22nd? Awesome.
I can do any time.
Wednesday, the 22nd? Okay.
Let's see, make sure we don't have 1:30 scheduled. We don't. Oh, we could also do 11 o'clock on 22nd.
Look for mine for me.
I can do 11.
And Your Honor, if I could just address on. Your Honor, so Mr. Jackson is on tether with house arrest right now. I think that the last time we were here, we adjusted so that he could at least go to medical appointments. At this point, we're just asking that he be allowed to work and be, yeah, so basically just adjust his hours so that he can work. So he has a couple of jobs that he could go back to since the inception of this case. He hasn't been able to work. He was working for JBS doing security before. He may be able to still go back to that. But again, like he would be able to, if he wants to, come back and verify which job he would be going to. But he hasn't, followed up with anybody since he was going to be on house arrest since the last time we were here in court. But so we're asking if you'd be willing to allow him to leave the home for the purposes of employment. And also, I know, I'm not sure if you remember the last time that we were here, I went over these different factors, but Mr. Jackson doesn't have any prior convictions. And this is my understanding, the allegation is that he was aiding and abetting in some way. He's not the actual shooter. They're not alleging in any way that he was the shooter in this case. I think so. And so, Your Honor, I guess I would just ask you to consider those things and consider allowing him some flexibility on the house arrest.
Your Honor, the people, basically, I guess, it's not obvious, and I should say this, so strike that. The people would object to any alteration of the requirement of Heather at this time. However, if the court is so inclined, I ask that there be verification made before any alterations are made to Tether requirements. So I just ask if this court is inclined that there is some sort of written indication of employment and those hours of employment.
That seems to me to make sense, that if your tether requirements for your house arrest would be adjusted, I need to know, the court needs to know where you're going. And what time. So how can that be, when and how can that be done?
Your Honor, Mr. Jackson can verify with the judge that he knows are receiving open for him as soon as possible, and then I can get back to the court if you're okay with that. I can come and do and then provide it, right, watch the job and the hours.
Yeah, that would make sense. Okay.
Okay,
We're just adjourned today.
Judge, I have one more additional matter.
Sure.
The officer in charge, Detective Lyman, has a search warrant for buckle swab. And so he has, I'm sorry. Detective Lyman has obtained a search warrant for the buckle swab. He does have those buckle swabs with him. He would like the ability to extract that DNA at this time, if the court allows. I would have to see search warrant.
Your Honor, if I could just have a moment real quick.
Sure. Water. Sabree.
Oh, thank you, Mom.
Mr. Davidson, right?
Yes.
Can I approach?
Sure.
Sure, you don't need to worry.
I was just. There. Oh, we each have.
Okay. I'll let you all finish your work.
I would just object for the record.
Standard is good.
All right, I did review the search warrants and they are executed or signed by all parties necessary, so I will allow, Detective, is it Layman?
Yes, ma'am, Layman.
Layman to go ahead and.
Thank you, Judge. And then there's one other matter, I'm sorry, I feel like I have a bunch of issues today.
Okay.
May I ask if the civilian witnesses that can come in and be told by the court that their subpoenas are continuing until the next day? That's all. Thank you.
Be after, or
After the month's one.
after the vote was live. And so.
Okay.
Then we can go off the record. stand right there. You don't have to go into the, if that's more comfortable right there, you can stand. Okay, we're back on the record. Appearances.
Lauren Narcissi on behalf of the people.
Andrew Moxley, P number 69568.
Natalie Phelps, P83355, Mr. Jackson.
Okay, so we have had a lot of issues we've discussed. And we are adjourning this case to February 22nd at 11:05 a.m. for an in-person preliminary exam, correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, and you also, attorney, are APA intercession, requested that the individuals who just walked in the courtroom come in.
Just to be notified that their subpoenas are to continue on to this February 22nd date at 11 a.m. That there will be no new subpoenas, that this is their notice, that subpoena is to continue until the next date.
Okay, and starting to my left, can you state your name, please, for the record? Okay, we barely hear you. One more time.
Spell it, Judge.
Arnell. Last name Tipton, Tipton.
Thank you. Okay, and to the next gentleman. That'd be Tyrell Givens, Tyrellgivens, correct? You have to say yes.
Oh, correct.
Okay, and next,
India Jordan.
and India
Jordan.
Jordan, India,
Yeah.
Jordan, Jordan.
Yes.
Okay, and lastly,
Chanel Lewis.
and Miss Lewis, how do you spell Chanel? And Lewis, Lewis. Okay, and as APA intercession just stated on the record, she's correct. Instead of the prosecutor or the OIC having to send you out another subpoena, that subpoena that you received is basically being continued. So you are to come back to court on February 22nd at 11:00 a.m. in person. There were a lot of preliminary matters that we had to get through today, and the parties cannot proceed based off of those issues. We should be able to move forward on the 22nd. So you are to come back to court. You will not receive a paper subpoena to come back. This is your notice on the record, okay? Everybody understand that? Oh, and the officer is saying yes too. Thank you. Okay. All right, so we got a verbal yes from every single person. Anything else?
No, Judge, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you all for your patience. We'll hopefully get this taken care of on the 22nd. We are officially off the record.